Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman. We're here in Liverpool. We've just concluded Gorman versus Salak. We've also had a live undercard streamed on Boxing Social, which you can catch a replay at your leisure on the channel too. But Kalle, first of all...
Definitely worth catching. No, because that was some fantastic 50-50 fights on there. Some very close decisions. One or two, I'm not going to say which ones. I'd go in a little bit the other way. But some very, very, very interesting fights that you picked up. So, yeah, absolutely. Go and check them out.
Let's start at the top. Nathan Gorman doing what he needed to do tonight and put out a statement when there.
What you want from a heavyweight, you want to see big punches. You're not too interested in 12-round tactical battles. You want to see that lever being thrown. It got thrown early, and he put him out in devastating style, and it was a very, very good call from the ref, the stoppage, because he didn't look quite right to me when he was even sitting on his chair. His eyes sort of were gone, and it was a very good call from the ref to stop at that point when he got to his feet, and he just weren't there at the count of 8. So, no, fantastic, and to do it in front of the heavyweight king at the moment, Tyson Fury, his cousin. Big fighting family, and it was a nice way to crown 15 months out the ring.
You mentioned there that a really good step next for Nathan would be the fight with Daniel Dubois. What makes you come from that that's the right next step when there's fights with maybe Fabio Wardley or other fighters that could be there as well too?
Yeah, it was a bit of a snap call out. It wasn't really a call out as such because, I think Dubois fought last week. I know that Nathan's got an L on his record against him. I know it's something that he really wants to have in the future. And it's a natural fight that will happen. Whether it's the next one, I don't know. We'll chat with Frank and see what his team are doing and thinking. I know they're talking about other fights as well. They've got a WBA belt now, a version of it, so it's interesting, of course, but there's so many names out there. I just thought Dubois would shut everyone up. That's why I said it. But you've got Fabio Wardley, Cash Ali. There's lots on the domestic front. Heavyweights attract, and that's a good thing for boxing. And he did everything that was asked of him in the most impressive of manners tonight. 25 years old, 15 months out the ring. You got to hand it to him. He really did. It was a perfect job.
Josh Kelly, we had to wait for the comeback, but we got the comeback and he did what he needed to do also as well, and reminding people of what he's all about in the ring.
I mean, every so-called expert in this country was telling everyone that Josh Kelly was the next best thing since sliced bread, until that night with Avanesian, where things didn't go quite so well for a very young boxer, very early in his career, who stepped up. And yeah, when you step up in life, sometimes we need to, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about boxing or normal life, to learn to run. It don't always work straight off, and it is what it is. He's gone away. He's taken that time out the ring with Adam, and you saw the frustration come out of him tonight. I think he had for me, a lot more spite in his punches. I don't know whether that was just him shaking off what happened in London a few weeks ago as well. But joking aside, I think the first round you could really see the rust coming off. You saw also the distance. He got it much better in the second round. He started. The counter punching was good. He let him come in, and he was then stepping on him, and it was very impressive to see. I wouldn't expect any less from having worked with Adam Booth for 18 months and the talent that Josh Kelly is. Let's not forget what we said Josh Kelly is, and then we can all write ourselves off as experts if we got it that wrong, that he shouldn't be boxing anymore or something. This guy has got everything it takes to become world champion, and he looked great at Super Welter tonight, and it's going to be a fun and super journey to go on.
A couple of final questions for me. First of all, sticking with Josh Kelly, with the talent you talked about that he has and the trajectory that he was on before he had the loss to David Avanissian, picking him back up and getting him back on the right sort of trail will be a real asset for Wasserman or any company in general. That being said, he'll have to be in big fights soon or soonish. There's been talk about maybe an Avanissian rematch or a Lewis Ritson. How viable are those, considering maybe Josh would have to come back to welterweight or there'd be a catchweight if Lewis Ritson was involved? How viable are those type of matches?
Yeah, I mean, it's we just left to see him leaving the ring almost, and but yeah, Lewis Ritson, of course, is a big one. Avanissian has boxed. He actually boxed on a show of ours in October last year. He's been active, and he's gone on his journey. They will meet again. The type of fella that Josh is, he will want to fight Avanissian again. I, as a promoter, have to look at the best path back to make the biggest fights. Do I think that that's a fight that, even in the first place, created the hype that like a Lewis Ritson fight would, like a lot of the other domestic names would, which, by the way, also internationally would also be of quite an interesting stature. My goal is to turn him into a world champ, and we mostly built fighters from scratch, from day one, and from taking them from the amateurs and turning them into world champs. So, we've got a bit of a head start here. We've had some work done for us. We've had the setbacks that you always encounter. Very rarely that you get it right all in one go. And we're blessed to have Josh in the team. So our goal is the world champion. How we get there, we'll work out fight to fight.
Finally, Kalle, off to Australia?
Yeah, Briedis. One last one on Liverpool. A special mention for Chloe Watson. Third professional fight on terrestrial TV live. That, for me, as a third professional fight, is probably one of the toughest third professional fights I've ever seen. Well done, Chloe Watson. Yes, Australia next week. Off to see Briedis, the absolute undisputed number one cruiserweight on the planet. I think it's gone a bit under the radar this side of the hemisphere, but he has a mandatory challenge because people keep on saying, are you making a Riakporhe fight now? Are you making the Okoli fight now? No, I said, we've got to get business done first. So the thing I put out last week or last Sunday, when I was having a barbecue and seeing people talking about Riakporhe's performance, and Riakporhe had a very good performance. I'm going to take nothing away from it. It wasn't about Riakporhe, it was about the way that it was sold as an eliminator. And I'm sitting there while I'm flipping my burgers on the grill and thinking, how the hell is that an eliminator if I'm flying halfway around the bloody world next week to go for a mandatory defence, and they're already setting an eliminator and we haven't even done our mandatory yet, So, nice hype job, but maybe they should have pulled us in on it and, we would have helped. But it was a bit of a hype job, I thought. Okay, we've all got to sell something. I don't know. For me, it was a bit of an odd one, and I just thought I'd jump on that.
Can I get a quick prediction?
Well, I think he knocks Opetaia, Okoli and Riakporhe out in 3 rounds in one night. Unfortunately, we're only boxing one of them, and that's Opetaia. And what can I say to you about him? He's earned the shot. He's earned the shot. We'd made the fight in lockdown, so we couldn't do it at Latvia at the time. Then the fight got pushed back. Now we're going to Australia. It's a bit of a gamble. There is a slight time difference, someone told me. I'm not looking forward to that. And but we're going to come back with a belt, and then we can talk Turkey with all those British promoters, with all those fantastic cruiserweights we hear about. But let's not forget, Briedis is a 3-time world champion. He's a Ring Magazine champion, and he's the winner of the World Boxing Super Series and the Muhammad Ali Trophy. He is also the person who gave Usyk, as Usyk has stated in many medias, there's not Kalle talking, that the toughest fight he had of his life was against Briedis. So when you take the words Cruiserweight World Champion, and that's no disrespect to anyone else who holds a belt. There is only one real champion at Cruiserweight, and that's Myris Briedis.
Cheers, Kalle. Thank you so much for speaking to
Amen.
Boxing Social. Much appreciated.